See, I'll load them up.
The certain things that are popping up right now, I love them. I saw them on a couple of the streaming sites. They're dope.
Yeah, I know.
Dope.
I pulled up the podcast on iTunes yesterday, and I saw it, and it was just like, that's much better.
Shout out to Christian. Hey, first off, don't say much better. All right. You're talking to one of the artists.
Professional, you know. I mean,
damn. So you didn't like Amateur Hour?
Oh,
here on Hold the Mic.
I'm just digging my grave here. Shit.
Don't worry, I'm gonna roast you. Don't even worry, but I got something for you.
Just keep on digging. Just keep on digging.
Told you.
No,
good
so
to see you. Happy Friday.
I should be able to load these up actually, so that'll be cool.
But shout out to Christian, man. He killed it.
Yeah, Christian Ortiz, who actually will be coming on the show. He did all of our graphics for us. He's gonna be working on our intro. Yeah. You know, shit ain't cheap, y'all. No. So we're doing it as we go. But
we count these pennies. But he did get a private show of you and I, man. He definitely got the text feed of you and I roasting each other.
Yes.
So
he was laughing. Yeah, he was definitely laughing.
How could you not from that fuckery?
Oh, not that. So just before, since we already mentioned it, so here's my favorite graphic. I love this. I don't know why. Like, maybe it reminds me of like Boondocks Saints or something. I don't know. It just looks cool to me. Like, to me, I'm like, that's a shirt. And I actually sent that to a buddy of mine that does not watch the show, but he's a good friend of mine. And I was like, hey man, if you were a fan, I was like, would you wear that? And he's like, fuck, I'd still wear it now. He's like, send me one.
Yo, that's dope.
Yeah, but
guys, we got some stuff coming.
This is the one that you'll see on all of our streaming platforms. So
and where history books will tell you that I was whitewashed, and that, you know, just trying to get a brother's hue
it was difficult. It was difficult. It was so funny.
If waffle was a color, could you make that happen? Not pink, not peach.
I mean, but
you know.
Yeah. No, he did a good job. What I like is he took the Renaissance Center and incorporated the Detroit skyline into, you know, several of the graphics as well. So yeah, just really excited. Thanks again to Christian Ortiz. Can't wait to have him on the show. He has an AI thing that he does called AI Justice. And since we've talked to him, Ian, I finally got to see kind of what it does. And it's really, really interesting. So I look forward to bringing him on so that we can highlight him and what he's doing.
That's sick.
So yeah, man, let's get moving.
Yeah, we got an outline, bro. You've been busy. You've been busy.
Well, everybody's been busy. That's why the freaking outline is so long.
Good thing we have a show. Good thing we have a show.
Yeah, we do. And before we get started, I just want to give a shout out to all the people that are doxing me today. Really, really, really appreciate it. You know, I love the World War II Hitler videos that you use in the background. That's particularly nice.
Oh, wow.
People in the comments were saying, send them pizzas. Let's call the pizza place. I'm like,
stop it.
I'm like, really, y'all?
Are we getting canceled already?
You know,
here it is.
I'm going to tell you what Jen said. So I came inside, showed it to her, you know, like I always do. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it just spins me up just because it does. I think anybody would be like, wow, really? You guys releasing my address? That's the best you guys have?
Yeah.
Like, cool. But like a lot of people say, if what you are doing and what you're saying wasn't resonating and wasn't bothering them, then they wouldn't bother. They wouldn't make 20 accounts and dox you all the time.
That's right.
So, you know, it's just, she was reminding me of that. Like, hey, if you're going to keep doing this is going to keep happening. So, you know, you're going to have to figure out how to just, you know, like process it quickly and move on.
Right. Compartmentalize, man.
It is, but again, thank you to all of our supporters, all of the people that follow us on social media. If it wasn't for a couple of you, I probably wouldn't have even seen the post that came out today. So, you know, again, without you, I don't have a platform. Thank you for having not just my back, but my family's back. You know, when this kind of stuff happens and reporting the accounts, try to get stuff taken down. So as always, you guys have my love. Thank you so much. And yeah, let's move on to more important stuff.
That's not more important, man. These are some dope ass people who are here. We love you guys, man. Y'all dope.
Well, yeah, I didn't mean it that way. I meant more
I'm
important than the
picking up
people
what you're putting
doxing me.
down. I'm picking you up. Oh, and forget them. Trash ass.
Forget them.
Trash ass.
So let's move on to somebody that I actually have grown quite fond of, and that's Rep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
AOC.
We've talked about her on the show before that,
Yeah.
for all of the screaming and the whatever she does to get attention, when she's behind closed doors, she's about business. She's about getting deals done. And even Republican representatives have come out and said, hey, man, when she gets behind closed doors, she's about getting things done. And so it's like you can say whatever you want to say about her, and her tactics and, whatever you may not like. But you have to appreciate anybody that, when you get behind closed door, it's about getting the job done and not just the politics of it. So
I have to say that, and this is, we talk about this a lot. A lot happens behind the closed door, right? And
yes, we have no idea.
Matters. The stuff that matters.
Yep.
It doesn't matter about the showboating. Doesn't matter about you on your soapbox. None of that stuff.
Yep.
But we do understand the importance of that as well, because you've got to get the message out there. There's a lot of senators we do not know, but we understand the fringe. We understand the loudest. We understand a number of them. But the thing that is interesting about AOC is, and I give her a lot of credit for this, is she got some time with Nancy Pelosi, and Nancy's a beast. Nancy is because keep this in mind, and we talked about this. Nancy and Pornhub Mike literally had the same advantage of a small majority. And look at the difference between what Nancy got done and through versus what Mike is not getting done or what he's getting through.
Yeah. Speaker Mike Johnson. Yeah.
Speaker Mike Johnson. And so when you're looking at AOC, she got a great education firsthand with Nancy.
And that's
she's going to be dangerous.
It is. And just something, you just remind me of something my dad said when I went in the military. He's like, find the biggest, baddest mofo and make him, your friend. And he didn't just mean that as, the biggest dude that could beat people up, because I was pretty big myself. He meant go find the person that's the best at the job that you want to do and watch how they work. Learn from them, ask them questions. And that served me so well because I latched on to a couple of people that I thought were really good at the job that were always the, what we call go-to guys. I'm like, well, I want to go work on the big job, so I'm going to go work with them. So it's just kind of like that. And I think AOC, I think that same mentality has been instilled in her. Go find the people that are where you want to be and learn what they did to get there and how you can make it even better.
And even ask.
Yep. Exactly. I don't think she has a problem asking. And that's the the value of a good leader.
Yeah. Can you show me the roadmap to get to where you are, or how I could take steps properly forward to get there? It doesn't hurt to ask that.
Yep. So speaking of being a leader, her and a group of House progressives on Wednesday introduced articles of impeachment against conservative Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito. The resolutions accused Thomas and Alito of refusing to recuse from cases in which they had a personal bias or prejudice concerning a party, as well as failure to disclose income, gifts, and other financial info. The articles targeting Thomas include a third charge, a refusal to recuse from matters involving his spouse's financial interest in cases before the court. So let me ask you this, brother. Do you think anything will come of it?
I don't think anything will come of it for now. And I say that in the context of like looking at the situation where you have Speaker Mike Johnson. No Republican is turning their back on each other.
Nope.
This only helps them out. And I will say this is nonpartisan. This helps everybody out. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So this tells me something about AOC, that she's going after them, where she's like, no, like all these rulings that you're making are really setting us back as a country.
Yes.
As a democracy.
Yes.
You are literally chopping us off at the legs, and you are taking away something that made this place so special, that anybody can make it here, that anybody can be held accountable, and you're now creating the haves and the have-nots.
Yep.
And that you guys have a very tight niche party, and that you're making sure that we all know we're not welcome. And that's something that is really quite telling. And it's something too, because I know you do, and I want to kind of merge this with something else that you have in the structure of our show. But it goes to with Bob Mendez, to hit it home, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna circle back to it, but this is something that's very interesting because we're gonna talk about it. Is that technically not a gift that he has received?
Yeah. No, it's
Is
exactly.
that technically not a payment? So then why is he going through court? If this is going to be the new laws of the land, that the Supreme Court
you know what it is. I mean, Democrats are held to a completely different standard than Republicans,
which is 100% true. But here's the thing. So I want to read this off to you guys to look at some of the stuff that if our viewers do not know this, back in June, okay, just a couple, very recent, June 2024. The Supreme Court limited the sweep of the federal laws on Wednesday aimed at public corruption, ruling that it did not apply to gifts, payments meant to reward actions taken by state and local officials. 6-3 conservative. Justice Brett M. Kavanaugh, writing in the conservative majority, said that the question in the case was whether federal law makes it a crime for state and local officials to accept such gratuities after the fact. He wrote, the answer is no. So what we're looking at here is where they are setting themselves up for success to line their pockets. Yeah. They're looking at all of being Republican or Democrat, and they're looking at themselves to govern each other, which we already know who's going to do what, when, where, and why.
Yeah. And Jasmine Crockett, too, has been getting behind AOC on a lot of things, too. Those two seem to be working well together so far. So, again, I think these are intelligent women. They know what they're doing.
This is the future of the Democratic Party.
I think so. But let's talk a little bit about what this got AOC by the end of the week.
Yeah.
So the Democratic Socialists of America group withdrew its conditional endorsement of Rep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez after it said she is not supportive enough of the Palestinian efforts to end the Israel-Hamas war. The DSA credited Ocasio-Cortez for her courageous positions on Palestine, but took issue with some of her recent moves, including her Ocasio-Cortez's panel with leaders from the Jewish Council for Public Affairs, who the group said are lobbyists for the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance definition of anti-Semitism.
So, i.e., she's not progressive enough, or she's not an extremist.
Yeah. And that's how I read it.
Let's be serious. Let's just be serious. She's not willing to burn the flag on Capitol Hill.
Yep.
Because that's what
I was wondering what you were going to say about this.
That's what she's looking for. You know what I mean? Being this organization.
Yep.
I think honestly, AOC has risen above the fringe, and I understand that she needs to dabble with it. I understand that she needs to speak to a younger generation. I understand that she needs to be amongst the people in the streets.
Yep.
But I also understand that she is the adult in the room, where she's like, this is also how we do not get things done.
Yes.
And so therefore she is risen above the fringe. And when you're looking at, the kids at the colleges, you're looking at how this whole thing was handled, or how it wasn't handled. And you're looking at the aspect of it's not helping anybody. No. That AI campaign of All Eyes on Rafah didn't do shit for anybody at all. I'm sorry. It did nothing. And then on top of that, it took away actual breathing room for genocide around the world. And it's we understand this is a war. This is crazy. It's messed up. You and I have talked about it numerous times for the last 10 months.
Nauseam, yeah.
Complete. And we don't agree with the amount of death that has occurred in such a short amount of time. It's tragic to lose even one life.
Yep.
But to sit here and to have this movement that is deep rooted in anti-Semitism, and then to be upset that you're not going the distance to be so overtly bombastic about this.
Yeah.
It's not helping anybody. It really isn't. It's like running around saying Genocide Joe. It's stop talking. You're not helping anyone. It's not doing anything for anyone.
Yeah.
But I digress.
No, I mean, I think that's dead on. It just feels like the theme that I keep saying right now is this is why the left fails because they are so quick to, cut their own representatives or the people that are on their side. They're so quick to cut them off at the knees. And it's just so surprising. Look at how they're turning on Biden. Look how they've been turning on Biden, since the debate.
Yeah.
It's just insane to watch them eat their own. And like you said, I think in the beginning of the show, but simultaneously, the right is coming together in this kumbaya moment, to lift up the 34-time felon and, accused pedophile and liable sexual abuser and business fraud. And nobody's asking him to step out. Nobody's asking him to step down.
Just George Clooney and his open op-eds.
Well, Rob Reiner, he's still out there posting stuff today. All you famous people that are out there doing this, and the funny thing is, they're still the right wing. They're still laughing at George Clooney and Rob Reiner and calling them the Hollywood elite. And it's like, you know what? Good for you. Yeah. Good for you. Yeah. At least you're consistent.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
They're like, yeah, we don't care. You're still one of them.
What I realize is that Joe just needs to start lying and just say wackadoodle shit nonstop, because then everybody would leave him alone. He's trying to remember statistics and facts and give you actual data. And it's like, you guys, he's 80 years old. He's 80. Yeah. He's 80. He's never been good at being live on the mic, whatever the case is. He's great behind closed doors. Where did deals get done? Behind closed doors. What has he done this whole past year? And then past administration, being these last 4 years, right? Well, he's gotten a lot done.
He has. And let's take a look at the NATO briefing that he did. His knowledge of international relations far exceeds
right,
Trump's knowledge. There's no question. And if you watch the Q&A that he did, do you think there's no way Donald Trump takes those kind of questions off the cuff?
No.
And answers them the way that Biden did. Did he have a few, gaps?
I mean, call my man Putin was, it's like, damn. Joe.
Yeah, no, I was like, well, they're going to take that one and run with it.
It's like, Joe, damn, man. Yeah. Damn.
But I bet you in his head, he probably went, damn. Damn it.
He's like, you got me again, pop.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, Joe. Come on. Get it together.
But again, I would vote for Joe Biden if he was in a nursing home over Donald Trump. And I wish I was kidding. I really am voting against Donald Trump. But that's not to say that Joe Biden hasn't had a good presidency and done a lot. They've accomplished a lot.
They've accomplished a lot. And here's the thing. There's a lot that we're going to see in the future of this country that Joe will not be alive to see. That will be so monumental, much like Roosevelt's administration.
Yeah.
When you think about these presidents who have done so much, that laid the land, that actually gave us, when we talk about the Green New Deal, it's like, okay, but who made the New Deal? And then you look at how that affected this country in the best way possible. When we talk about the trickle down economics, and we see how it was actually Reagan's crazy ass who created this aspect. You know what I mean? That it's like it
still
actually
still waiting on that trickle down.
You know what I mean? But and then you look at why college is the way that it is, how it costs so much. It's like, oh, because a Republican decided in his presidency that he wanted to make it into this certain type of business instead of focusing on just the education side of things.
Yep.
And so here we are, why we're paying so much, but yet still making so little to match that. It's quite telling, man, when you start really looking at the history of all this. But I think that a lot of this will transcend past. No matter what, Biden's life, we'll be looking fondly at him.
Yes.
Completely.
Yes.
And give it 5
I have zero doubt.
Easy.
I mean, hell, we look at George W. now and we're like, oh, look, it's like
I'd get a beer with him.
Yeah, it's easy, it's easy to forget some things as time goes on. But
oh yeah.
I like this comment here. Saucy Sea Witch said, I will also say it. Most of the people telling Biden to step down are white and rich. The problem is not with Biden, it's actually with Kamala Harris. They still won't allow a woman to lead. And I think the fact that she's a black woman too.
That's a woman of color.
Yeah, because let's real quick, let's remember, America voted for a woman.
Yes.
America elected
Hillary
Clinton by 2.8 million votes.
Popular vote.
So, America was ready for a female president. They told the voters showed up and said, you know what? The majority of Americans want her. Yeah. And the Electoral College, and the magic that it does, land doesn't vote, you clowns.
Yeah.
It's just frustrating. It's just frustrating.
It was something that was really telling where it said, okay, let's just say, for the sake of argument, and DL Hughley, if you guys see the clip on TMZ, was interviewed, and he said it beautifully. Yeah. I think I shared it with you just in general because I love you and I are always sharing stuff back and forth, no matter what, regardless of the show. And so DL had a great point, and you and I have talked about this already. As an incumbent, you already are like, there's the 13 keys, and we'll get more into this at another time. The Lichman keys of success. It's pretty much predicted like 9 out of 10 presidents, and the one that it got wrong was Bush v. Gore, and we know how that turned out, right? Supreme Court getting involved. So it's a pretty solid test of looking at the current events, looking at the presidency, looking at what it could be a projection of to be the winner. And it said, if you change presidents, you're gonna be taken off one of those keys. It's gonna give it one more closer to the challenger.
Yeah.
And when you're looking at the aspect, it's like, what's the worst that could happen with Joe running again? You stay steady, you stay the course, and you do this. Now, I'm not saying that he needs to. I'm not saying that he needs to jump out. I'm saying it's his choice. That's what I've always said. If he wants to leave because he feels he needs to, great. Give him that grace.
Yeah.
I'm not forcing him out. No. We should have had this conversation 4 years ago if this was going to be the game plan.
2 years ago. Hell, a year ago.
It should have been established then, not where we are today.
Not 112 days out from the election and 30 days out from the convention.
So if Biden is not fit to be the president, or he dies, whatever the case,
who takes over?
Kamala Harris.
So we're already in a way voting for Kamala Harris.
Place. All you have to do is stay focused, stay the course, and do what you have to do.
Yep.
If you want to talk about who should be her VP, then go in that direction.
Yep.
Go in that direction. Start lining up.
Start planning for who the VP is going to be.
That's all you need to be focused on. But this whole thing, he needs to step down. I don't need to hear him debate. I told you before, I never wanted a debate from him.
Yeah.
The fact that Trump never debated any of his own candidates in the Republican primary and was never held accountable for his administration, his 4 years in office, and that he never wanted to sit there and actually be held accountable in a Republican primary. I felt that right then and there made it very solid that we did not need a president debate.
Yeah.
You're not worthy of one. You won't debate your own people.
Yeah,
You're clearly not going to debate me. I don't need to debate you. I'm just sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I'm past talking about the debate. I just want to remind people that please go watch. They've been running Biden ragged, trying to convince everybody that he's okay. And with the few flubs he's had, you still need to go look at the content of what he's saying.
Yeah.
Dude knows what he's talking about. And again, he has a great administration around him. It hasn't been just him getting all of these jobs done. It's been his administration. So we're not just voting for Biden. We're voting for Kamala Harris. We're voting for his administration. And I have complete faith in them continuing to do a good job. And I have complete faith that if, God forbid, something happens to Joe Biden, that they'll be able to pick up the reins and we will not feel the ripple effects of it because they will have everything in place that they need to have in place, and it'll be a smooth transition. And anything else is just not a good idea.
No.
And I want to end this Biden talking point on this one thing. I want to remind you that while Joe Biden has been standing up in front of reporters, taking negative question after negative question, answering them without losing his shit, I just want to remind everybody that Biden
great temperament.
See, even I fucking do it. All right.
Great temperament. No, great temperament though. It's great.
But he has a great temperament. But I just want to remind you that Donald Trump refused to go to the White House Correspondents' Dinner every year that he was president because he's so soft that he couldn't handle them making jokes about him. And you can tell if you go back and watch Obama's last correspondence dinner, the way that he roasted Donald Trump, and they pan over to him, and like, dude doesn't even crack a smile. Like, he is incapable of cracking a joke about himself. Like, there's something in his brain that just doesn't allow it.
No,
so
he's a narcissist. He doesn't. He lacks humility.
And we already have seen what happens when a reporter stands up and questions him. He calls them names, tells them to sit down, scolds them, at the podium. And I actually saw somebody on Twitter today. They're like, "That's my president." I'm like, "Really? That's how you think a president should act?"
I mean,
wow.
Yeah, honestly, I want to keep this in consideration too. Trump has been golfing this entire time since the debate. I know you don't want to talk about the debate, but he's been golfing and just like chilling out, relaxing. Yeah. Did maybe a rally or two. Joe Biden has been president, dealing with a number of actual issues.
Yes.
And then still is on the campaign trail.
Yep.
81 years old.
Yep. And having to campaign twice as hard because Democrats aren't helping him. The Democrats keep shanking him in the back.
Don't sleep on Joe.
I'm not sleeping on him.
No, I'm telling people, don't sleep on Joe. My man's doing double duty right now, for real. And he's working a lot harder than most of us. And
we, as the party, should have been like, you know what? We're going to campaign our ass off for him so that he doesn't have to fucking run his 81-year-old ass around.
Right.
No, we're like, oh, no, prove to us that you're okay. Run yourself completely ragged, and let's see how you do. Like, that's literally the gauntlet that's been thrown down to him in his campaign, and it's ridiculous.
And I name one person, all right? Anybody here that's watching the show, tell me one time that you called somebody by the wrong name. I do it. I do it all the time. I do it all the time. So don't put it in anybody's face. He's 81.
And put yourself in his spot too. Like, you're the president. You're in front of all those cameras, all those people. Like, I don't care if you've been doing it 50 years. I'm sure it's still nerve-wracking, especially when you know there's so much on the line.
Yeah.
Like, they're pushing him out in front of the cameras and they're saying, "Don't fuck up, Joe." Like, that's some pressure to feel.
81 with a stutter.
And he's 81. Come on.
Like, come on, man. But I will say this to you. Still don't know who Trump's running mate is. That's
crazy to me.
It's a little odd.
That's crazy to me.
I mean, I know who the last one was. They tried to hang him. So that's a little odd. Little odd. Just saying.
Well, the funny thing is I got
remember why he doesn't have a VP.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's weird. And then on top of it, I got my butt handed to me a couple of weeks ago because the whole thing that Michael Flynn had fought, there was paperwork on the website, the FEC website. And apparently it ended up being fake. Somebody had submitted or whatever. But I'm like, was it really fake, or are we still waiting for this shoe to drop? Right. Like, is it going to be like one of the things, like they get all the support and then at the last minute they drop and they're like, oh, and by the way, Michael Flynn, the guy that I had to pardon and it's been going around saying treasonous shit for the last 3 years, he's going to be my VP.
But look at already when you look at the difference between presidents, okay, the possibility of, like you said, Biden is there taking on the tough questions. He may stumble, fine, fib something, have a flubber, whatever the case is. Go ahead.
Captain Morgan, people need to remember it's only 4 years, not a lifetime. Yeah, it's not a lifetime appointment like the Supreme Court. Like, right. And again, we have a succession line for a reason. Right. For this reason exactly.
Specifically.
So that if something happens, we have a backup plan. Like, people are acting like, and again, I know it's morbid, and I do hate talking about it, but God forbid Joe Biden dies in office. It's not like there's not a plan. Like, we have a plan. It's the country's not going to implode.
It's literally in the Constitution.
But if Donald Trump is put back in office, you bet your sweet ass that the country might implode. Again, the dude added $8.1 trillion to our deficit in 4 years. He almost doubled it in 4 years. What do you think he's going to do when he gets in the White House and he can't run again? Yeah. And he knows that he's got nothing to lose.
And 4.8 of that trillion was nothing to do with COVID. Just keep that in mind. So the thing that I was going to say to you was that with Biden, you see what you're getting. He's going against the grain, dealing with the questions, the tough questions, answering, trying to be as honest as possible, trying to put the information out there. He may stumble over certain things. Great. Call you the wrong name. Got it. 81-year-old shit. Great. Keep it moving. With Trump, it's already this reality TV show bullshit. It's him playing this game of guess who his VP is going to be, okay?
Yeah.
Everything is always this, like, tune in next time, showmanship. And then you look at how he's trying to back away from Project 2025, and you're like, wait a minute, but like, shy of 200 people from your last administration wrote this thing. They literally authored sections of this wish list that is complete, utter garbage on how you want to create this authoritarian country.
Yep.
So don't try to. And then footage just came out where it talked about him. Literally, is this it? Is this the footage? Of course you have it. Of course, Ryan.
Of course I have it.
Hit him with it.
The critical job of institutions such as Heritage is to lay the groundwork, and Heritage does such an incredible job at that. This is a great group, and they're going to lay the groundwork and detail plans for exactly what our movement will do and what your movement will do when the American people give us a colossal mandate to save America. And that's coming. That's coming. The critical job of institutions such as Heritage is to...
Yeah, I mean, besides the fact that he's slurring his words and sounds like he has some issues. Yeah. But again,
my support animal came up for that because I just watched.
You know what's up. So, but again, there's always a tweet or there's always a video of Trump confirming that he did actually say or do whatever he claims he did. The Heritage Foundation is great.
It's like either he can't read, he can't speak, or his dentures are coming out. I don't know. Either one.
I don't know. That or he forgot to do the line of Adderall before he walked out on stage.
So real. Good job.
Yeah. Oh no. You know. Yeah. I don't like making fun of like people with drug issues and stuff, but it's like it's clear they have drug issues and they don't. And I don't have a problem going after like Don Jr. and Trump and going after their drug issues because it's like it's very evident that they're high.
What do you mean?
What are you talking about? You know, with Don Jr., it's his eyes are closed and they're so red and watery. You know, it's just insane.
Yeah.
But I don't personally like making fun of that. But for them, I make an exception because of the crap they say about everybody else. So it's like I will literally say the dirtiest, nastiest crap about the Trump family, and I'll sleep just fine at night because they are literally the most evil among us.
That's right.
Yeah. So like I don't have a problem saying evil things about them.
I don't care. I don't care when it comes to them. I mean, there's a fine line, like we talk about spotting some of our comments and conversations, but these people are trash.
Like, I don't wish death on Trump, but I sure as hell won't cry when I wake up and find out that he's gone.
I might have a block party.
I think I might celebrate like something after Biden won, I ran outside and popped a champagne bottle. I think it might be something similar to that.
I think there might be a block
big pop-its with the fucking confetti.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I think I don't know, man.
That's why I'm doing it. I'm sorry, I got too excited about that.
A little giddy. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Also, guys, thank you for checking in. I want to say like, subscribe, hit the notification button. You guys are getting giddy right now.
I'm sorry. I just realized how excited I got about that.
We got that on mic. It's there. We're gonna cut that clip. We see all of you returning fans, friends, and lovers maybe sneaking around. And then we see some of you haters, and we just want to say, hey, you guys could be anywhere, and thank you for joining us and being here on this lovely Friday. So,
yes.
We always have a good time here on Hold the Mic, and we got some things in store for you. So stay tuned. Keep enjoying this show.
And we're going to show the graphics again at the end of the show. So if you missed them at the beginning of the show, stick around. We're going to show you the new graphics.
That are not amateur, as Ryan said.
Man, I'm not going to live that one down, am I?
Nope. You are now the doghouse. Me and Jen have a conversation to have.
That's all I gotta say. Oh my God! So let's move on to another degenerate. New York judge has thrown out Rudy Giuliani's bankruptcy case.
Man, oh, have the mighty fallen.
Oh man, I'm telling you. So
Ryan, what do you feel about this, man?
Well, I feel pretty freaking outstanding, particularly because I know that there's 2 black women out there that were election workers that are about to get a whole lot of fucking money, and that makes me happy. A
whole lot of dough.
And also as creditors too, but for me, it's more about the Georgia election workers. What was it, Ruby Freeman and
Shay Moss.
Shay Moss. Thank you.
Yep.
So looking forward to those two ladies getting a nice hefty check. So this paves the way for a litany of creditors, including the two former Georgia election workers who won a $148 million defamation claim against him to pursue and potentially seize his assets. So the judge literally looked at him and said, "Oh, you ain't getting out of this." So what do you think, bro?
This looks bad, man. Well, this is the tragedy of Rudy Giuliani. Like, it's going to be a movie in 50 years.
It is kind of sad.
You know what I mean? Like, this guy was, remember when we were in high school, this guy was known as America's mayor. That was his title. Like, how dope, right? You are America's mayor.
Yep.
You did more than George W. Bush when we were attacked on our soil, which has, in my understanding, hasn't happened since Pearl Harbor, and that really isn't even mainland soil, right?
Yeah.
So when you put that in context, and you're like, wow. So are we looking at Revolutionary War? Like, when was the last time we were actually attacked on this soil? And you look at how he stepped up, and he was there, regardless of how bad he was at a local level to specific demographics, right? The black community, we never had love for him. But in the same sense, and if you guys doubt me, listen to some old Biggie Smalls. Listen to Notorious B.I.G. He talks about Rudy. He lets you know what the streets were like back then. It's a perfect time capsule of what New York was like to capture. That's why those albums are timeless. Same with Nas when they were growing up in the golden age of hip hop. So Rudy became the America's mayor, and then to see him rise up to where he's at, Ryan, I don't understand. How is it that he was so close to Trump? I mean, look, I do understand you're dealing with a narcissist, but how are you so close to the source, being Trump, and this man's not trying to protect you? He has let all the people, the pieces closest to him that has helped shield him and do his bidding, to fall victim to case after case after case.
Well, I mean, here's the reality. I don't think Trump can afford his own defense, let alone the defense of all these other people.
I didn't think about that.
You know, I really think that's, he said many times that he was going to pay for all the defense of all the January 6th people.
Yeah.
And what did he do? He watched them all go to prison, provided zero resources, and uses them to this day for a campaign talking point.
I mean, he literally said he would buy everybody McDonald's at the McDonald's, and then he walked out without paying the bill.
Then he walked out without paying anything.
I get it. I get that side. But when I look at it of like how many donations he's getting and how he's not looking out for the people that have the most dirt on him. Like, keep in mind, Giuliani's on that RICO case in Georgia.
Yeah.
Like, and a number.
Giuliani can bring him down. Like, probably even worse than Michael Cohen.
Yeah.
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 If they manage to get Giuliani to flip for some reason, which I don't think they will, because I personally think that there's some mob ties in this somewhere.
Okay.
At least on Giuliani's side. I don't know. I don't know about Trump, but I'm
saying, if I go out to let loose and I end up at a gay club and it's drag queen night and I see Rudy trying to earn some dollars, I'm letting you know right now, he's bringing back that 90s drag. I'm telling you right now. Mama Rudy gonna be on that stage shaking something.
Oh,
that's how low she getting right now. Okay, Mama Rudy
funny.
Gonna be putting that out there.
Yeah. So, again, when it comes to Rudy Giuliani, I don't have much of a problem basking in his failure here. So happy to see the judge make sure that these two women get their money and that his creditors get their money.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm glad he's not going to get out of that.
I can't.
Speaking of people that aren't going to get out of shit, let's move on to Senator Bob Mendez's bribery case. I'm the king of transitions, bro.
You are the king of transitions, boy. So okay.
Well, let me give people a little background before we talk about it.
Yes, sir.
So Mendez has pled not guilty to corruption charges, which included bribery, wire fraud, extortion, obstruction of justice, and acting as a foreign agent of Egypt. His wife and two businessmen were also charged in the case and have pled not guilty. A jury began deliberating this afternoon in Senator Bob Menendez's bribery trial following 4 days of closing arguments in which prosecutors accused the New Jersey Democrat of corruption on a massive scale, delivering favors for businessmen who showered him and his wife with hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash and gold.
Yo,
so
man,
what do you think is going to happen here?
If his defense was smart, straight up, they would say the Supreme Court said that we can get these gifts, these gold bars, baby. We did X, Y, and Z. I mean, it's.
Hey, if it's good enough for Alito and Clarence Thomas,
you know what I'm saying? Like if the higher courts can do it and they're saying that it's okay to get these gifts.
See, that's not? I'm so glad you said that, dude, because it's like these precedents that are being set, we need to start using them against them. Like
I'm just saying, it's right there, blatant.
It's right there.
Isn't this exactly what they just said? So if I was
100%.
there, if I was his lawyer, I'd be like, well, as you could tell, the Supreme Court just passed last month that gifts and these rewards.
They could use that argument in the appeal at least.
Of course they can.
Yeah.
And that's my prediction.
Yeah, because now I think it's done, but when
that's
they
my
appeal
prediction. I mean, the lawyer should have brought that up immediately. To the case and said we were like to
I wonder if of course I wonder, I'm not a lawyer, I wonder if it would apply and everything, but from just my limited understanding, that
when
that
does
makes
it kick
sense.
in versus when this trial started. Well, but this is the thing too, this is the part of the corruption that we need to get rid of, deep rooted out of our government. They are basking in it. This is going to create more What's the ooh?
Jeffrey asked, hey guys, do you know where Kaylin is? She doesn't seem to be in the YouTube chat. So that would probably be my fault because I did not give Kaylin the 30-minute warning. So I'm going to take the hit for that. That's probably my fault. She's probably enjoying some quiet time, which
Good job, Kaylin.
which is good.
You deserve it.
Yeah,
you
man.
Deserve it.
But a shout out to Kaylin. She's always here every Friday. So, we love her to death.
We love Kaylin.
So
I'm just saying.
I don't think Mendez is gonna. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna get away with this time. But I think if they do appeal it, and that they can tie it to that Supreme Court judgment, then he might actually have a way out.
Yeah,
but
which to me is just the ultimate like fu to all of us who we don't have these perks.
Yeah,
and we're the one paying the bill.
Now, okay, so let me ask you this. Do you have a problem with Mendez being, I call it our side, the left, the liberal side?
I don't have a side. I have a country, and I think there's a lot of cancer in our government.
Okay, well, I have a side. So, but do you have an issue with him being held accountable?
I want to see this type of corruption rooted out. This is corruption. He was literally found with gold bars stamped Egyptian.
Yeah.
What deals were you making?
What information were you giving
away? What laws were you bending for them? What were you doing that literally make us for sale literally to any country where I just feel like it's prostitution in a suit? Like you're literally, and it's just like, it's the worst.
Well, until we get rid of lobbying as a whole, well, I should say lobbying with money. Lobbying has become, like you said, it's legalized bribery. But it didn't start out that way. Lobbyists used to not be paid. They used to lobby for what they thought was right.
Congress used to not be paid. It was an honor to do it.
Yeah, it was an honor to be a member of Congress.
I'm telling you right now, Ryan, if you gave the people on Capitol Hill the insurance that we have to pay or the VA insurance, you would see a difference.
Yeah.
You would immediately see a difference. Take away their insurance, put them on the same type of allowance.
Well, that I absolutely agree with. They should not be living any better than any other federal employee.
No, they should be living like their constituents.
Now, I just have to put this out there because on this show, we try to be as fair as possible. I will say this. The only stipulation that I would say is members of Congress and Senate are required to maintain a residence both back in their district, and usually they have to maintain a residence or stay somewhere in Washington, D.C.
So and some bunk up.
Yeah,
some have a 2-bedroom flat or whatever the case is.
I think there's a few Congress people that have lived together in the past.
And it all comes down to like how much money they're getting, right? How much they're actually bringing
and
in.
that's the point I want to make. Like that, we can't pay these people $75,000 a year and then expect them to maintain 2 households.
No.
And travel back and forth and do all that. So
But
as long as there's things built into it, like in the military, we get BAH. So I think
Ryan, they could be on Section 8. I'm just saying.
Well, they could, but
they could be in housing. They could be in public housing in DC. And this
well,
is where senators
there
live.
are people that have talked about doing a dorm, an actual dorm for Congress people.
Yes,
that wouldn't be bad.
Because here's the reality.
Because if I was in Congress, I wouldn't have a problem with that. It's like staying in a hotel. I'd go stay in a dorm.
That's
like I got my own dorm room.
That's my point. And at the same time, this maybe would get rid of this whole little let's make a career out of this. You should do your stunt, be there, and get out.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with
the career long. I don't want anybody who's in there for 50, 60 years. I'm sorry.
I don't want anybody that long. I personally think 12 years is enough. And the only reason I say that is being in the military, 4 years went by really fast.
Yeah.
And with everything that's required of members of Congress and Senate, you know, and how often they have to campaign, you know, especially in Congress, it's every 2 years.
Right.
So, you know, if they do 2 years, that's what, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So that's 6 campaigns they have to run.
That's right.
You know, so I just think people deserve to have some time to, you know, learn, put their roots down. And if their constituents, you know, like the way it's going, like, you know, AOC, clearly her constituents are okay with how things are going because she keeps getting reelected.
Right.
So,
and she beat an incumbent that was there for like,
yeah, and him being the little
years.
arrogant whatever did not go well for him.
No, he didn't realize.
He was also a high up member of Congress too. He was number 3 in line for the.
Yes, he was.
Yeah,
he did not think a little 29-year-old was about to take him out.
No, he did not.
He did not realize. He did not read the tea leaves.
So when we get somebody like an AOC, a Jasmine Crockett, an Ayanna Pressley, you know, when we get these people in office that, you know, I don't want to see them out in 8 years. Like I want to see AOC progress.
You want her to look like Maxine Waters?
Not that. No. that go away a little too extreme.
I love me some Maxine though. Reclaiming my time. Did
you see the video of the wig this week though?
She said I'm older than Joe Biden.
She was like,
girl, get it together. I love Maxine. I love Miss Waters. Just figured it out.
Somebody was like, does she know she's on camera?
Zero.
No, but I mean, you know, I love.
Shout out Katie Porter. Also, yes.
Katie Porter. There's tons of people that I want to see them in there. Now, I think that if AOC can't get out like into the Senate within 12 years, I think that maybe, okay, if you can't progress to the next chamber, then maybe your time needs to be up. You know, you can still run for president. Anybody can jump in and run for president that wants to. So
anybody. Well, I think some things need to be passed after this election where we need to. You're too young to be president. You should be too old.
I'm so glad you brought this up because I'm going to say this every time we talk about it. I have had to have a secret security clearance since I was 21 years old. Mm-hmm. I've worked on F-15s, F-18s, F-22s, B-2 bombers, KC-135s, C-5s. I've literally touched almost every airplane that our government has. And I've had to have a security clearance to do that. The things that they did, the things that they went through for the security clearance were very evasive. They didn't just know information about me. They asked me questions about my wife, my wife's family. The most recent security clearance I did, it was the first one I had to do since being married to my wife. And my wife is, she's a first generation American. So her mom and dad, my mom and dad, my in-laws, they're from Grenada. So my father-in-law served, I think it was 28 years in the Army. And that was how they got their citizenship. So, you know, after a few years, they sent for mom. Mom came and took her test, got her citizenship. And then they sat roots down here. And so it's just, where was I going with this?
We were originally talking about being too young and too old.
Too young and too old.
For president.
For president, yeah, but I don't know what I was talking about my in-laws for. I totally lost where I was going with that.
You love them, you know? I'm not mad.
Well, of course I love them. My in-laws are amazing. Security clearance. So I was like, where was I going?
He had a Biden moment. That's all it is.
See, exactly. It happens to me. I'm 42. But going through the security clearance, they were asking me questions about them. I had, they came back and said that I had to go get their, they get a number, a citizenship number. I had to go ask them for it so that I could provide it for my security clearance.
Wow.
So that is how in depth. And when I got my first one, when I was 21, they were asking me questions about my dad. Like, do you know your dad's $90,000 in debt? I was like, no. I was like, my dad and I don't talk about that kind of stuff. Right. And they're like, do you know your mom's husband owes the IRS, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, again, no, we don't talk about these things. And the reason that they do this is so that they say, okay, if somebody from Russia wants to get blueprints for the U-2 or whatever airplane you want, and they want to get them from me, and they say, wow, Ryan's dad's $100,000 in debt. Let's go offer him a couple $100,000 and see if he might be able to get some information from his son.
Start go fishing. Yep.
Exactly. Yep. So they look for those potential weak spots in people. That's the whole point of doing a security clearance background check. Right. It is very evasive, and it's supposed to be. I didn't have a problem with it because I went to work every day and I knew that I was working on things that were classified. Right. So you just deal with it. It's part of the process. Okay, I'm going to get drug tested, and they're going to do background checks on me every 5 years. Right. Okay, cool. But the fact that every single person that I have ever worked with, and I hope that these people, because some of them are Trump supporters, every single one of you and us have had to do a background check. You weren't allowed to do your job if you didn't pass a background check. You couldn't do your job if you couldn't pass a drug test. And none of those things are required of the President of the United States. I don't care if it's a Democrat. I don't care if it's a Republican. You should be drug tested, and you should, what was the other one? See, I'm losing my mind today.
No. You're right. It should be
you should be drug tested, and you should have to pass a security clearance.
Security clearance.
100%. And again, you go back and look at Donald Trump.
You know what? And throw in the cognitive. It's like, yeah, where is your head at?
I'd fail that one clearly.
No, but I mean, it's just one of those things of like, we should know this. You should just know your stats going into this.
And Donald Trump, I want you to go back and read this. Again, don't take our word for it. Go Google this stuff. Donald Trump, his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, could not pass the security background check. He failed it twice.
That's right.
And they ended up forcing his security clearance through.
That's right.
Because Trump told him to.
That's right.
Ivanka had an office in the West Wing.
Yep.
But she had no official job title. She had no official federal title.
She was not.
She had no. Member. I don't think she had a security clearance, or if she did, it was given to her.
I mean, it's called pillow talk with her husband, but yeah.
Yeah, not any better.
You know what I mean?
But
then Jared got out, and he got how many billions? $2 billion.
$2 billion from the Saudis as they were walking out of the White House.
Yep. So it's quite telling.
And the Saudi prince that gave him the $2 billion has already said that they will also fund him if they get back into the White House.
That's correct. And they also pardoned his father
publicly.
Who is Trump pardoned his father.
Yes.
Because he was a criminal. So yeah, it's wild.
Gotta love really that nepotism in the Trump family.
Oh man, it's shines bright.
Somebody said something the other day at a statistic that Trump only required half as many White House staff as Biden does, and I was like, yeah, no shit, because he fired everybody and hired his family so that he could keep it tight knit. I was like, look at his whole list of people.
It's wild.
Like anybody that had a brain was out of there within the first 12 months. Like, go look at the people that left that administration within the first 12 months.
44 people of his administration are not returning, and that should be telling you something.
Like I said.
And I don't mean not returning. They will not be voting for him.
Will not be voting for him, do not support him, would not work with him again. How many people that work with... What's that?
I said, where's his old VP?
Luckily not hanging from a tree.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
But, I think it's very telling. And how many people are fleeing Joe Biden's White House right now because he's incompetent?
Just George Clooney and whoever else.
How many people are fleeing, saying that Joe Biden is losing his shit and throwing things against the wall and all that stuff? How many people in his administration are coming out?
I think it's been 3, and one of them was calling him Genocide Joe.
Yeah, Jen Psaki left, but she took a job at MSNBC, and again, Jen Psaki said before she took the job that she was only going to do it for 12 months, and she ended up doing it for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
So.
And that was not an abrupt I'm leaving. It was nothing.
And by the way, Jen, come on, don't do the MSNBC thing.
Is she doing it?
She
flirting the line. She's telling the line.
Personally, I think she pretty much said that he should step down, but without saying it. But it was just and it's just kind of like I know she has a job to do, and I know that there's bias within every news organization.
Right.
But it's like, for me, you're talking about the former press secretary who probably knows Joe Biden better than most people in this country at this point. And to have her come out and be like, it's just like, really? Like, come on. Like, she knows better. But like I said, the George Clooney thing, I don't agree with them. I think it was I think he pretty much shivved Biden in the back. You do a $20 million fundraiser or something for him, and then you turn around and say, oh yeah, that's not the Joe Biden I remember. Like, really?
So, yeah, but George Clooney is also not the George Clooney I remember from Dust of Dawn. Like, it's just not. It's not.
Well, that too. But I'd also like to remind everybody, George Clooney doesn't live in the United States. He lives in France. So when Trump literally blows this country up, guess where George Clooney is going to be? Him and Amal Clooney are going to be on the coast of France laughing at all of us. So,
I shake my head at all of it.
It's
when
ridiculous.
you talk about elitists, that's elitist right there.
Well, I mean, Rob, like I said, Rob Reiner came out again today, saying this crap. It's like, you guys need to stop playing stupid games.
No.
Like, say it again. Ian said it in the beginning of the show. You guys had 2 years. You had 3 years even to come up with a viable plan for replacing Joe Biden. You failed to do that. We failed to do that. I'm not even going to blame you. We, liberals, we failed to come up with a better plan. Democrats and the DNC have failed to come up with a viable plan. And everybody talking about, let's pull Joe Biden 113 days out from the election. Like, no.
Right.
This is, and again, anybody that knows this and has picked presidents in the past have come out and said that would be one of the worst ideas to do. And if you're saying replace Joe Biden with Kamala Harris, please let me remind you that we're voting for Kamala Harris. She's literally on the ticket, y'all. Like, if something happens to Joe Biden, Kamala takes over.
Yeah.
So we need to stop playing stupid games. But speaking of stupid games, I want to go into our Feeling Friday.
Feelings Friday.
Feelings Friday.
Guys, here on Hold the Mic, as you know, we do Feelings Friday, and one lucky contestant, or it could be a couple, get added to the nice short list of Feelings Friday. So who do we have for this Friday's Feelings Friday?
We have two. We have two, actually.
Here we go.
Excuse me for a second. Oh, my God. Thank you.
Which end did that come out of?
I'll let you know later. So it started off with the Hodge twins.
Oh.
Now, if you don't know who the Hodge twins are, they're right-wing twin brothers. They're in their 40s. They're I forget. They're either Army or Marine veterans, but they say some really nasty stuff. Like, they're just horrible.
And Tweedledum.
Yeah, they're pretty horrible people. So I see comments like this, and I just think of what the opposite is, or I think of what the reality is, and because it's like they post this stuff to get people riled up.
They're shock value, right?
So here, the Hodge twins said, "Our founding fathers didn't fight and die for us to let some commie fags rig and steal our elections." And I simply,
unquote.
What's that?
Quote unquote.
Yeah, quote unquote. Thank you. And I said, "Our founding fathers would have whipped you both and told you to get back to work." But
you also said that with delight, though. The little bit of a twinkle smile.
Well, I mean, but not because I think the slavery part's funny.
No. But I mean, make America great again.
Yeah, I don't like.
Again,
These are the type of people
like,
that I don't have a problem like saying this kind of stuff to.
Right.
I made you look stupid. I ratioed the shit out of them.
Oh yeah.
Like,
but that's of its time. If that's what they're talking about, then yes, you call them out.
Over half of the signers of the Declaration of Independence owned slaves.
Yes.
Yes. And let's remember in 1955 what happened to Emmett Till because he talked to a white woman.
Yeah.
So what do you think that they would have done to the Hodge twins in 1776? With them running their mouth calling people commie fags.
Right.
So, and we went back.
You have a very valid point.
And we went back and forth. And he says, when the left thinks about black people, all they think about is whips and slavery. Shake my head. That was their response. And I was like, nice try to spin it. But here comes the Uncle Tom part. But I made you two look like Uncle Toms in one response. That's why you're responding so much, because it went viral and you want in on the money. And as you can see, 2.8 thousand likes. Oh no, is this a screenshot? Oh yeah, that was a screenshot. But I think I ratioed the shit out of them.
The thing that I find interesting is that Uncle Tom does not mean what you think it means.
Let's get back there. But
okay.
They kept going and said, all you got is slavery jokes about black people, bro. And y'all wonder why black people are voting for Trump this time. I'm like, it wasn't meant as a joke. It's a fact. And you just showed us that you aren't very smart. Fact, you would have been the founding fathers' property. Fact, they would have whipped and hanged you for talking to white people without permission. Fact, you would have been their slaves. If you think that's a joke, so be it. So those were the responses that we had with them. So let's go explain Uncle Tom before we go into the rest of it.
So Uncle Tom's Cabin is the original book that came out. And just to give you a little bit of context, they say that book helped lay the groundwork for the Civil War. And that book itself is it was like an anti-slavery movement, and the character himself had to portray being with Massa, but he was helping out the slaves. And in the end, he also died because he didn't make anybody happy. But but in general, it much like how DEI was hijacked, or woke was hijacked, and now you have this different meaning to it. Calling someone Uncle Tom doesn't have the real meaning that people do think, but it was hijacked. And so then it started being called, oh, you are Uncle Tom. And it's like, but actually Uncle Tom was the one that was helping try to free slaves.
Nice.
Yeah. It's just a little history.
So they'd be anti-Uncle Toms then. So
they would have been Samuel L. Jackson in Django Unchained. That's who they would have been. Okay, let's just be serious. They would have been the Clarence Thomas of our time. But they are, you know what I mean? It's one of those things.
Clarence Thomas of our time.
You know what I mean? You got to look at like the actual ones. They would be the Herschel Walker. You know, it's like looking at Herschel Walker and Clarence Thomas hanging out. You know what I'm saying? That's who they are walking down the street. But it's one of those things where for anybody to even, and this is me taking shots at any liberal who's trying to say anything to my boy Ryan. You are one of the dopest individuals who has always walked amongst all people. And the thing I love about you is that you say what you say, and you say it with your chest, and you don't mince your words. There are teachable moments, but this is one of those where it's like any liberal could have looked that up and been like, well, wait a minute. Well, Uncle Tom, that's actually, it is a saying and it has been hijacked. But if you really want to be,
correct.
The politically correct and all the know-it-alls that, liberals come off as too. It's like you could have checked yourself and been like, oh, well, all right, well, actually, Ryan, Uncle Tom is, you could have had a teachable moment. But, I've seen some of the TikToks that they put out there of you, and I'm just like, a lot of people who are just trying to ride on your coattails and try to get some likes for themselves. And this is the grotesque part of TikTok and all that stuff that I don't care for,
And I'm so glad you said it, because we actually had somebody. So this Ry alt guy, he has about.
He looks like that name sounds, by the way.
So he sent me this message and then promptly blocked me. And he said, "I'm really disappointed in you, man. You've been told by black people on your Twitter that what you said is distasteful, yet you keep it pinned because I guess it's more clout and likes. Those two are abhorrent, but using another community's trauma like that for likes and clout is sad. I guess you don't care, but that's what I'm seeing you do." So he blocked me after sending me that, so I couldn't reply. And then does a 1.5-minute video trashing me, using my wife for clout, and fails to say anything about the commie gay part. Doesn't show that part. Only goes to my account and pulls up Uncle Tom and shows all the responses but didn't show their responses.
So it started from Uncle Tom.
Yeah, so he didn't show the whole context, nothing like that. So it's just kind of funny because he's accusing me of using them for likes, but it's like you just took all this shit and did a 1.5-minute video about me using me for clout on your shit.
Right.
And it wasn't even the first time this dude had gone for me. He came at me about 3 years ago when I had a misunderstanding with another black creator called Double D Merva. And it's like, so that's all this prick does. He just goes and his whole account, my wife went and looked at his account. He's like, that's all this fucker does. He's just a fucking clout chasing prick. Right. Like, he doesn't have a huge following on any other platforms that I know of.
And we call those a simple word, star fucker.
Yeah.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
And most of the black people, by the way, were in there were like, well, damn, true words, but damn. Like, yeah, it ain't comfortable, but it's true.
I'm telling you right now, the first thing I did, I looked at it, I started laughing. I said, but
I mean,
but I get it. I totally get it. And if you looked at the foul shit that these two actually say,
oh, it's horrible.
It's like I don't care. Okay, now you're really in your feelings because this is the fuck your feelings.
Yeah,
crowd,
and by the way, these are the racism doesn't exist, and then then they're clutching their pearls talking about.
They look like Candace Owens, like short bus, like twin brothers. Like that's like what this is.
Oh, dude.
It's one of those things where you're looking at them and you go, you want to be accepted so badly.
So bad.
Like so badly. Like you will literally run yourself through mud to just try to fit in with this crowd. And when they say blacks for Trump, they're talking about just these two people that are not paid.
Wait, what? Hang on a second. What'd you say?
I said when they talk about blacks for Trump, it's just these two people that are not paid.
Dude, they travel around. They travel around with like a group of 5 or 10 of them. Yeah. It's the woman that you saw at the Chick-fil-A. The dude that has the tattoos all over his face and something Trump's cousin or something like that. And then now you've got Amber Rose who is showing up and she's going to be a speaker at the RNC convention. I'm wondering if she's going to cover up the really tasteful forehead tattoo that she has. Must be nice. She can cover that up with a foundation, but probably stop making stupid people famous. I mean,
they're right there.
Well, just because you brought up Candace Owens, hopefully this works. Tell me if this.
I am at a
Can you hear it?
0% belief in the moon landings in 1969.
On today's episode of Stop Making Stupid People Famous,
someone
has really been going hard in the paint the last few weeks. But my favorite part was when she went on the Don Lemon show and this happened.
What do you think about same-sex marriage?
It's a sin.
You think it's a sin? So you think I'm sinful?
What's that?
You think I'm sinful because I'm married to a man?
Yeah.
You do?
Yes, you're sinning. You are in a sinful relationship. I actually don't believe marriage can be between two men. So I don't.
Don't you just love when they use God to push hate? I mean, come on, Candace. Even the Pope has softened up on this. So if you want to finish watching that video, you can go to my TikTok. But I just thought that was funny. So Candace Owens doesn't think the moon landing happened. And, she uses her religion to hate on other communities. So, yeah.
And she's also anti-Semitic.
Yeah. And again, another woman who literally used the NAACP to sue her school over racism, who now says racism doesn't exist.
That's correct.
And she won that lawsuit, I believe.
Yep, in Connecticut. That's where it happened. She is exactly the type that has used the ladder to climb up, and then she's pulled it up behind her. And it's quite tragic because you could see it that she she could use her power for good and chooses not to because she also too is chasing clout.
Yes.
And it's burning. It's burning out. Like she's not going to be around forever.
I don't think so. I mean, I think her down cycle has already started, and it started when, whether she left Daily Wire or they fired her.
She didn't leave. She got let go. She said something stupid. She just like how she said to Don Lemon, like she doesn't believe in that. She looked at Ben Shapiro and said, whatever she said about Jews, and that was it.
Yep.
And Ben was like, I don't give a fuck what side you're on. You're out. You don't bite the hand that feeds you. Way too comfortable.
So to the Hodge twins and Ry alt, kiss my ass.
I like that. I like that as a period. To X, Y, and Z, kiss my ass.
Yep.
There it is. Oh, I love it.
So we kind of already started talking about it, but let's talk about, so who is connecting Donald Trump with these rappers and black influencers?
I don't know, but it's some of the weakest, man. You ain't finding good ones. It kind of comes off. It kind of comes off feeling like a failed attempt.
Like, yeah, it's like, find me the least talented and followed rappers out there.
And maybe we could put them at a concert. And maybe that concert could become an actual festival. And maybe that festival could be who?
You mean like Billy McFarland, the guy that organized Firefest? Firefest. So Trump's Justice Department sent Firefest organizer Billy McFarland to jail. Now he's helping arrange Trump's meetings with rappers, sources say. He uploaded a photo of himself.
All for the purpose of trying to win the black vote.
Win the black vote. And by the way, I'm glad you said that. If you haven't noticed, everybody, it's not just the black voters that are coming to save our ass. Once again, it's also the black caucus in Congress that are stepping up and saying, you guys are playing stupid games. We're riding with Joe. Let's move on. So once again, it's the black folks, it's the black communities, it's the black leaders stepping up to.
It is a lot stepping in, saying no.
Like, no, we're going to make sure that Americans are taken care of here. These are stupid games.
Right.
And so I just want to say that I notice it, and I appreciate all the work that is happening up there. Just because, like I was reading Jasmine Crockett's, like her tweets the last couple of days, like she's burnt out, dude. Yeah, like you can tell just by reading how, like, she needs a break. Yeah. And she's also talked about the fact of, here we are again, putting America on our shoulders, to get the job done.
That's right.
And so, yeah, it's just, it's kind of disheartening to see, honestly.
Right.
But, so yeah, they're using.
So you're telling me that Trump is offering black jobs, is what you're telling me.
Temporary black jobs.
Temporary black jobs.
On a contract basis.
Provided by Fry Fest, Billy McFarland? What is it?
Billy McFarland, yeah.
Billy McFarland.
And you can expect your food will come in foam trays and
food and water.
Yeah, will resemble something given in prisons.
Looking like FEMA camp. That's
so
what that is.
He uploaded a photo of himself alongside former President Trump, sorry. And the caption read, "Prez's birthday featuring your new cabinet." So while
I just like how it's another criminal. It's
another criminal hanging out with another criminal. So while that's not likely to happen, McFarland has played a role in connecting Trump with rappers throughout his campaign as the Republican seeks to court black voters. So do you think that this is working? Do you think that he's winning over many black folks, black voters, black Americans?
Your black whatever.
Your mic is doing that thing.
There we go. We have a storm. The storm's happening.
Yeah, I know.
And by the way, this storm is that hurricane that was in the Caribbean that hit Texas, went to Michigan, now it's coming this way.
That's insane. Have we ever seen that?
Not this soon.
Because usually a hurricane hits land and it dies out.
Dissipates and goes out, right? This is how massive this thing was.
That's crazy.
But it's just hitting us now, and so it's going into the Atlantic.
What's the forecast?
It gonna rain.
Yeah, but you guys expecting flooding and stuff again?
We do. We actually are on a flood watch right now.
Shit.
So, but hey, it's all right. We're built up. We didn't do the first floor apartment because
or the bottom floor ones.
A brother likes a kayak. I don't like to wake up in it.
Yeah, no.
That's the reality. So that's where we're at. But it's one of those things where your original question about who this is this working, or is this courting aspect? Is that what I see it being like some of these whack rappers that are one-hit wonders, TikTok rappers, have a quick little...
Yeah, what's Amber Rose known for?
I don't even know who that is.
There you go.
Don't even know who that is. So clearly not my demographic, right? Don't even know.
I guess.
But it's like, but there is like, Trump is like, I want Snoop Dogg. You know what I mean? That's who he wants to be promoting him. That's who he wants to be the voice.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you not know who Snoop is? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It is one of those things where it's like you're trying to grab some of the greats. Like, do you not know how this works out? It's a reality.
Jeff, does anybody else think Candace Owens is just like a younger female version of Clarence Thomas? Married a white dude, you know?
I always say that Candace is Tommy Lauren in blackface. That's all I got to say.
Well, the only thing about Candace Owens is she has no education. Like, she's another one that thought she didn't need, college and all that. I'm pretty sure. Let me look that up. Let me look that up. Because the last thing I need is Candace Owens fans coming and being like, you're spreading lies.
Receipt.
She's a Republican Party political commentator, political activist. She has 3 kids? Didn't know that.
Well, she doesn't do abortions.
Early life, education. Owens is also Caribbean American. Junior high. Owens received 3 racist death threat voicemail messages, totaling 2 minutes. That's a Tuesday for me.
Jesus, man. Jen could have put her down so fast.
City Super Owens pursued an undergraduate degree in journalism at the University of Rhode Island. She dropped out after her junior year because of an issue with her student loan. Afterwards, she worked as an intern with Vogue. So yeah, she dropped out of high school dropped out of college for whatever the reason is. But again, so here she is supporting Donald Trump and against things like student loan forgiveness and all that stuff. And she claims that the reason she had to drop out was that she didn't have the money.
Ding.
So like, again, she's literally, she literally goes against her own interests.
Right. Like
consistently.
Right.
Like, oh, racism doesn't exist anymore, but yet you sued your high school over it.
Yeah.
This doesn't happen in college. We should have to pay for it yourself. Oh, but you couldn't afford it.
Right.
Pull
you up by your bootstraps, but that's why you actually didn't pull yourself up by your bootstraps. So there it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's always the aspect where they're voting against their own needs, wants. It doesn't have to be this way, but I get it. This is what got her fame. This is what she was chasing.
And then she married she technically married into a royal family.
Well, just think about what those kind of behind closed door conversations are like.
Yeah. You should oh man, hang on. I didn't know this. I'm learning new shit today. So apparently this is her father-in-law, Lord Farmer. He is a British businessman, former treasurer of the Conservative Party. That's interesting. Huh. So have you ever seen the video or the picture of Candace Owens' baby shower?
Oh, this is terrible.
You've seen it, right?
I only saw this because you posted it, and I literally double took, and I go, "Who is this? What is this?
Yeah,
Hold up.
See.
It looks like she's the black friend."
That's my thing. Like, this is your party, and this is it. Like,
she literally is the token black friend to her own event.
Yeah, that's Candace back there, and that's the other woman of color at the party.
This is her party and she's not up front?
Yeah.
Oh, they put baby in the corner, man. Look at this. Look at
it's
this.
like, where's your family? Like, where's your friends? Do you not have any?
It's not even about friends or family. This is what she affiliates herself with. This is it. This is it. They always talk about how neglected your group of friends are, like what that means. And I'll be honest with you, I am notorious for looking at people's wedding photos and being like, I better not be the blackest thing there. I better not. I better not. I know what's down deep, what it is, but I'm just saying, this complexion, you playing a little too safe.
Oh, all right. I need to find that. Did I not post it? You're going to kill me.
Oh, P.S. The fact that the hurricane season is kicking off like this, they're saying that this is resembling 2005. And just so everybody knows, 2005, as a reminder, is the year we got Katrina. So I'm telling everybody in the southern states, I'm telling everybody, like, be prepared this year. Take the time. Just get some supplies. Just don't try to survive anything. If they say a storm's coming your way and they're saying it's going to be a Category 5, don't think for 1 second that you're just going to have a sanctuary in your house. Like, if you can evacuate, please evacuate.
Yeah.
This may be a serious year. The temperatures are already sky high. We're seeing 90 degrees and up, 90 plus. It's going to be 97, I believe, on Tuesday here, Monday or Tuesday. We're seeing record highs right now.
It was
and
117 here last week.
This is insane.
Yeah.
This is, if you really want to have the conversation about is there global warming, climate change, anything, you guys, it's happening. We're seeing it. This is not okay. And the fact that we are starting off with a Category 5 this early with hurricanes, just know. And when we're saying this came through the Caribbean, the Atlantic, through the Caribbean, up through to Texas, up into Michigan, and then over now to New York and back to the Atlantic, this is no joke.
Yeah.
This is really no joke of a hurricane, and which it's not a hurricane here. We'll see what the weather conditions are really later tonight. I'm not so much worried about it because it's been inland, but as it kicks back into the Atlantic, which has really been warm.
Yep.
It could stir some things up. We don't know. Yeah, so that's the thing. I mean, I don't have a Sharpie to really draw where it's going to go, but for right now, this is where we're at.
Oh man! All right, so our last topic before we go on to our positives for the week. The RNC has expanded court challenges in key swing states. This is one of those things that terrifies me personally, because this is them using the court against the American people, and I have zero faith in our current judicial system, stemming from the Supreme Court down.
Yeah.
So the Republican National Committee has expanded legal challenges to voting and election procedures in key swing states since March, when presumptive nominee Donald Trump installed new party leaders with a mandate to pursue his unsubstantiated claims of widespread cheating. And to catch you up, if you didn't know already, one of the people that was appointed to lead the Republican Party is his daughter-in-law, Laura Trump. Mm-hmm. So she now basically runs the Republican Party. So she controls their agenda.
Right.
So in Arizona, Michigan, and Nevada, Republicans are seeking to force election officials to remove voters from the rolls, despite federal law limiting such actions in the months preceding an election. In another Nevada lawsuit, the RNC is seeking to block mail ballots from being counted if received after Election Day, using a legal theory that has been repeatedly rejected in other courts and would upend existing practices in many states.
Guys, real quick, so they're talking about purging the voting database, and this is all part of also Project 2025. They can't win when they go off of elections. They have to do anything and everything they can to silence your voice. That's, in simplest terms, what this means. And it is up to you to make sure you are registered in your local and now national elections.
Yes.
And this is why you should always vote during your local elections, because that helps you throughout the process stay up to date.
Yes.
if you're waiting for every presidency, you're not actually staying in the game. You're not staying ahead of them.
Yep.
And I will tell you personally, when there was a election here in New York, I was purged from the voting database. I didn't move. Nothing changed. I vote almost every 2 years. I'm always voting in the midterms. I'm always voting for the local elections, and then also for, of course, the bigger presidency. But I do understand that the major change happens on a local level. When I did get purged, I took them to court. And I knew to do this because of Malcolm X's speech. It's either the ballot or the bullet. And you have to understand the significance of what your voice really does mean. We do understand that the Electoral College is a suggestion. They take your vote as a suggestion and they can do what they want.
Yep.
But the reality is enough suggestions lets the world know where we stand.
Yeah.
And when I tell you that I had to go through court to because I would not do an absentee ballot. I don't believe in absentee. I believe that you should have your voice heard. You should take the time to give yourself on election days, whatever is going on in the world, family, work, whatever, in your own life. You should take the time and understand what people had to give up to have this right, because they want to take it from you.
Why don't you believe in absentee? Like that comment.
I say that because absentee is where you vote and then they don't have to count that vote. They only count that at the end of when the polls close.
Okay.
And they don't have to count that. Those can you can toss out absentee votes. And also when you look at Trump and Project 75, I believe they're trying to attack the absentee vote.
Well, they are, and I want to remind everybody, that's how our military votes. That's how a lot of federal employees vote that are stationed overseas. That's how a lot of expatriates vote, or expats. I'm sorry.
But they can toss it.
Well, I mean, again, that's the discussion of, they want to talk about election interference. The people trying to actually interfere with elections are Republicans.
Right.
They're trying to impede every way possible for us to vote. If you can't show up on the day and vote, well then, you're just shit out of luck. Well, guess what? It's the rich white people that don't have to work for a freaking living. So they're going to get to vote. But you know who's not going to get to vote? The people that work 12 hours a day, 6 days a week.
That's right.
Because we don't make it a federal holiday, and businesses don't have to let people off. And businesses don't usually pay people if they go to vote.
Which is why I always vote early, and I always make it a day where I know that I can take my wife, kid, dog, whatever, and we go there, we make it a thing. And I make it where it's like, okay, we're going to vote early, and we're going to vote on the time that I know that we have the time to do it and stand in line if we have to. And this is what we're doing. Granted, I live in a great area in Brooklyn where I can just walk up and maybe it's a 5-minute, 10-minute process. It's really great because we're off the grid. But when I tell you that absentee, I understand if I have no other choice, yes, I'll do absentee. But this particularly happened when I lived in Harlem. And like I said, I voted in every election.
Yeah.
Since I was 18, I've voted in every election possible. And I thought it was really quite interesting that I was purged from a vote, from the database, without moving, without anything. I thought it was really weird, and it was known that there was a purge taking place.
Yeah.
And when I went to the court here in New York, I remember I had to go to the courthouse, and I told the people there, the judge and all the clerks, I felt like this was speed dating because I had to go through one table, sit here to plead my case. Okay, you can go to the next table and let them know that you've checked the boxes here. Great. I went to the next table, sat down, had to tell them plead my case. It was, and the tables were right next to each other, and there was only me and all these people who worked there. It wasn't like a massive packed line. No one was there.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 people max that I saw throughout my process of walking in and me walking out, that I see a number of people being 5 doing the same exact thing as I was doing. And all I thought to myself was, how many people do not know that this is the process where they have to, court ordered, make sure that I had a ballot that would be counted, because that was my fight.
Yeah.
I wanted a vote that counted that moment. They had to accept it. But it took me getting a court order to do it.
Yeah, I vote early now. I've been doing it since 2018, and I like it because my vote's counted before election day.
That's
like
right.
I can verify it before.
That's right.
Before the election even hits. So I like it. But yeah, like everybody's saying, check your voting rolls, and if you do vote early and send it in through the mail or whatever, make sure you go on and verify that it was counted, because if you do it early, it should be counted before the election even hits.
Yeah.
So with that, so what's your positive for the week?
Okay, so I'm enjoying everything that's going on, but I have to say, and good night, Rochelle. Thank you for always checking in. We see you all the time. I have to say that there's an element where it's like life imitates art or art imitates life. And there's a fine line when you see it in your face.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people remember the Chappelle show. And then
no. Oh, sorry. Okay. No. Sorry.
Yeah. My positive. Don't white-splain this shit, all right?
Oh, motherfucker.
So everybody knows that there was the Chappelle show that grabbed an audience. And then, of course, he fled, did his thing. And Comedy Central said, we need to create something that will gravitate, that would grab all these people, and it would fill the void. Key and Peele comes around, and thank you, Ryan, for letting everybody know. Key and Peele comes around, and people were like, it kind of feels like it's good, but is it spot on? But there was one segment in Key and Peele that just captivated everybody. And it was the segment where they played Obama talking to black people and how he would relate to black people, walking through the line, saying what up, thank you, clap up, everybody. And then he would come up to a white person and he'd just be like, hello.
Yep.
Hello. And so that happened, 2012? 2014? Yeah. Like, we're talking about, there's a decade.
12, 14, yeah.
It's somewhere over there. Well, fast forward, and there's actual footage now of Barry O doing exactly that.
Good to see you, man. See you alone. Got my vote.
It's so good. It's just so good.
Steve Kerr was like, no, fuck that. I want my hug.
It is true. I am the Hooper in Chief.
It's just it brought me so much joy. I don't know if we have to play.
I just want to.
Yeah, man.
The Key and Peele, but it's like, go check out the Key and Peele clip because it's literally spot on. But this brought me so much joy because I said, wow, this is one of those moments where it's like, it's serendipitous. It's like, all right, well, is art imitating life or now is life imitating art? So I always love those kind of moments.
Yeah, that's one you'd if I was friends with Obama, I'd probably text him and be like, did you do that on purpose?
I'm like, I see you, Barry. I see
what you did.
I see what you did. Man. It's always good. It's always good. So I just love that.
That's awesome.
Barry, and anything Barry O, when he shows up, it's just always like, and did you heard someone 4 more years?
Telling you,
man.
Yeah, somebody was like, have my vote.
You know what I'm saying? You only get that if Michelle runs. So
yeah, and she don't want that. I don't blame her either. She's already given enough.
Amen. I get it. So yes. So what was your positive?
Well, I just before we sign off, I wanted to show everybody the graphics one more time in case you didn't get to see them in the beginning of the show. So again, a shout out to Christian Ortiz. If anybody needs any graphics or anything done, AI work, he's a good dude. You can reach out to me. I'll connect you. But yeah, these are the graphics. Some of the graphics that he did, and this one was really cool because we wanted something that kind of spoke to us about being from back home. So this is actually the Detroit skyline. I think he might have mixed in with the New York a little bit too. I can't tell, but
I think he mixed a little bit.
Yeah, but right there to the right, that's the Renaissance Center. So that's like the known piece of the Detroit skyline, which they could be tearing down. Which, man, that GM moved out. They're moving into a new building, the new building that they built, and now they don't know what they're going to do with the Ren Center.
The Ren Center was built in the 70s. I can't imagine them rip that down, especially if they
go Google it, dude. They're literally talking about it.
The fact that they had the train station up abandoned for most of my life. They just fixed that bad boy up. I can't imagine them take down the Rent Center. If they take down the Rent Center, that is a staple of Detroit.
That like it would change the
complete skyline.
Yeah.
Like that building is gorgeous, and whenever I fly home and I see it, I go, I'm home.
Yep.
That's the building I look for to be like, I'm back.
Yep. I want to go see the new bridge, the Gordie Howe Bridge.
Which I will be in Detroit in August. That's when it's going down.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm heading that way.
So, but no, my positive for the week, besides getting graphics and everything done, we're going on vacation.
Yes.
So, yeah,
Family
I will.
Vacay.
If all works out well, you will not hear much from me next week.
We better not, Ryan.
Nah, man. I mean, we're gonna.
You got to disconnect, man. We can't have you looking like a.
No, the last time we went on vacation, I did pretty good. Like the only time I would get on the phone to do anything was usually like at night when we were back in the hotel room or something. But like during the day, like only time I take my phone out was to take pictures. You know, like just being very present. You know, but also going into it, just knowing that we need the vacation. Like we just need to unplug, and school starts up. We just got the email, starts up August 1st. Oh, so like this is like our
really
That's when
dude.
It starts? I remember like September we used to go back or
it's like after Labor Day.
Man, that's what. Yeah, they go back August 1st.
That's when my vacation starts.
Yeah.
That's wild. That is so wild.
Yeah, we're gearing up for school again already, and yay. I mean, I think my kids are I think they're already smarter. I think they're already smarter than me.
Because they're home though. You know
What's that?
It hits different because it's not like them physically leaving. Like because it's that you're in each other's space because they stay home.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
that hits different. It's not like that's why I said you're yay. Like,
yeah. No, yeah. They're always home, and I'm always Jen and I are always overlooking their schoolwork and stuff. So, I'm not going to say we're their teacher because they have teachers and they work very hard, and my kids love their teachers from this past year. So
no, you're the lunch lady. You're the
big
hall
shout
monitor.
out to them.
No,
I mean, but the thing that we have to do is we have to make sure that they do the work. Like they have a class, they have a teacher, they have classmates. So like all that stuff's kind of normal. It's just all done virtually.
Right.
Our job is to make sure that they don't, slack off and not do the work.
Right.
So
and make them lunch.
Yeah.
Roles,
nowadays they can make their own damn lunch now. But it's just making sure that they stay on track, which I didn't have as a kid. I didn't have anybody that stood over my shoulder and was like, no, you have to read that. No, you have to get that done. Yeah. So I got away with not doing a lot. And these kids do not because they have mainly Jen. Jen's the one that really plans everything out. When Jen goes to school during the day, that's when I step in and just kind of do everything and orchestrate everything and help the kids. But yeah, we just, it's a great lifestyle. We can, like, if school started tomorrow, we could take the laptops with us and the kids could do school while we were on vacation. Yeah. So it's a nice lifestyle to have. It's not this, like when you think of homeschooling, like the way it used to be, it's not like that.
Nothing like that.
It's structured. They still go to school every day. They still have classes that they do. It's just different. But I think that this is the future. And if you are a parent and, I always say how fortunate Jen and I are, Jen's retired. So if you're home and you have the ability to raise your kids, and what I mean by that is you don't have to send them to daycare. You don't have to send them to Latchkey. You don't have to send them to the Boys and Girls Club. Yeah. You don't have to send them to school, for people to raise them and watch them and take care of them. You can do all of that.
Right.
So it's like, hey, in the age of active shooter drills and seeing how some of my other friends' kids, the anxiety that they acquire from doing these things.
Right.
And I look at my daughter who's about to be 11 and she has no clue of what those are.
Ignorance is bliss, man.
And it's like, exactly. Yeah. She's 11. She doesn't need to know what that is yet. When she becomes like a teenager, okay. It's just like, I want them to be kids as long as possible. I want them to be as successful as possible.
Right.
And I think the best way for us to do that is to be involved. And we're very fortunate that we're able to be. And so, yeah, we're going to do another year. And we're very open, too. Like, we ask the kids. Like, we kind of tried to let them dictate a little bit. Yeah. And so I'm like, hey, do you want to go to in-person school? Because Liv's actually done in-person school before. Dominic hasn't. So, I asked him, I'm like, do you want to go? I'm like, it might be a little easier to make friends if you go to school, and Liv's like me. She gets like social anxiety. So she's just she's like, nope. She's like, nope, I got my friends.
She's like, I see all y'all haters. I don't need any of that in my life.
Pretty much,
I don't need it.
But she's got her friends that she makes and everything. Yeah. And it's just, But
what is the difference with kids these days? Because that with technology and video games,
there's no difference.
People are making friends across the world. You know what I mean? Dude, because they have that one game they play or whatever the case is, right?
Besides you, I have a couple of people that I talk to every day, and one of them is my buddy Carl, and we've been friends since 2013, and we've met one time for 30 minutes, but we talk every day.
Shout out, Carl.
Yeah, but he's just the guy that, it's funny, we play Call of Duty together, and that's how we met. We met playing video games, and that's how I unplug. Like that's when the kids are in bed and or whatever, and it's like that's just my mindless whatever where I can just not think about other stuff. And and we just have a good time, and we became such good friends over the years. And I tell the kids that, I'm like, they call him Uncle Carl. And I'm like, you guys know who dad's friends are, I was like, and I don't have a ton. And I was like, and the one that I talk to every day, I was like, I met him virtually. So it's like, you can build these friendships the same way.
Right.
And I mean, just like this, we're doing a podcast from literally opposite sides of the country, because of technology. It's amazing.
Right.
So it's like, if social media, there's so many negatives that come with it. Yes. But there's so many positives that can come from these platforms too. I mean, we talk about it just to hype up the show, but the fact that we literally are being heard on 4 different continents now, and 13 different countries.
Yeah. It's growing. It's just growing.
We're growing, but the fact that I can talk to people in different countries. I have friends in Ireland that I talk to, and I'm like, how are you guys looking at what do you guys see from the outside looking in?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, it's a disaster. Yeah. So it's really interesting to be able to have those conversations, and I can have those conversations because of this. So it's just like anything. If you teach your kids to harness it the right way, and of course my kids are young. They're not on social media. They have their kids. Do
you have an age limit for them? Like when you will introduce it?
No, I don't. I think because my daughter, the way that she is, I don't think I'll introduce it to her for a while.
Will you let them make the choice if they want to jump on or whatever the case is? Like if she came up to you and said, "Hey, Dad, I really want to do this," would you have to do?
I'd figure it, because I know that there's ways that the parents can still monitor things. I just at this point, I just don't think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if she gets to 13 or whatever, and she's like, hey, I really want to join, TikTok or whatever, then yeah, we'll sit down and figure it out. Because, at the end of the day, we have to protect our kids, and social media can be a very messed up place, especially, the DMs and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, this is our world. So we have to teach our kids how to live inside of that world.
Right.
And so, yeah, just prepping it, that's one of those things that I think is going to be a learning curve of when to do it. But the one thing I know for sure right now isn't the time.
Right. Oh, no. I know exactly what you mean.
No. And here's the kicker. Dominic came in, one of his friends in school was like, yeah, do you play Call of Duty? They're 8. I'm like, no. And he's like, well, Dad, I can play. I was like, no, you're not ready for Call of Duty yet.
You're not there yet.
You don't he doesn't even like watching wrestling if they start bleeding.
Yeah.
I'm like, and you want to.
He's like, do you know how much shit I would talk to you, son?
Oh, dude. I'm like, yeah, you can't go in the gamer chats.
I'm waiting for your son to be like, yeah, Dad, my friend told me that he heard this show some raunchy old men talking.
Two
They're grumpy.
raunchy old men talking.
Called Hold the Mic. I'm thinking about watching it. Ryan hit us up, said 17 countries plus Georgia. So, yeah, I don't know if that's our stats or is that
No, we're not. No, we're not in 17 countries.
okay.
We're in. I'll pull it up right now.
Brian's hitting us up with something.
No, we're doing July 6th show already has like 40 downloads. Stats. Let's see. Locations. So we are in 3 continents. Sorry. We're in Oceania, Europe, and North America. We are. Oh, sorry. That was only for a couple episodes. 4 continents. So we're in Asia, Oceania, Europe, and North America. Countries are United States, Canada, Ireland, Australia, France, UK, New Zealand, India, Netherlands, Portugal, Switzerland, and Italy.
Adding more.
So, and a big shout out to our Tucson, Arizona listeners. Our top 3 cities are Tucson, Arizona, Waterford, Michigan, and Reno, Nevada. So, shout out to all of our listeners in those cities. We love and appreciate you.
Absolutely.
And
guys,
to all of our international listeners, we really do appreciate the support from abroad. Just the fact knowing that people care enough about the issues to pay attention to a podcast talking about it. It's nice to know. So, big shout out to our Canadian friends because they're our next biggest watchers. So
we see you. How about
we see everybody?
It's all there.
See,
which it makes me tell you guys, like, subscribe, and hit the notification button if you like what you guys are seeing and hearing. We are here every Friday. We try to really bring a sense of humor to some of this gloom, being politics and things that could be really rough conversations. Ryan and I don't always agree, but when we do, we make fun of it. We have a good time.
We make fun of it when we don't, too.
We make fun of it when we don't. So, it's a reality. It's one of those things where we want to make sure that you guys feel like you guys are at the dinner table with us.
Yeah, man.
We like these conversations to be as honest as possible. That's why we do like to talk a little more loose.
Yeah.
And there's a reality here where it's like we like to make sure that we simplify, because there is a lot of dialogue that is interjected with some of these articles and with some of this news that's there. But we want to make sure that we are all on the same page, where we can at least read it and talk about it, and don't take our word for it. Go research it. We want you guys to come back and even call us out. If there's something that you see or you want to really question it, hit us up. We absolutely want to answer those tough questions.
Yep.
We don't want to skate by. We don't think we have all the answers. We definitely think that there's a part where we want to be challenged by you guys. We have some of the most amazing fans, and we see a lot of great content coming in on the chats, and even to some of the individuals that don't like us. If you say something funny, I appreciate it. If you got a good sense of humor and you want to make fun of us,
at least make it funny.
But if you're gonna try to dog walk me, you got to make it good, because I grew up with too many siblings. All right, it's just you got to step your game.
Keep telling them, don't come for me unless I call for you.
Hey, I got jokes for days. I'll tell you right now.
Yep.
So, and it's it is what it is. And all I can say is, hit the like, subscribe, and notification button. And we do this every Friday. Some Fridays, we might have to pre-record in the future just because, family trips. But don't worry about that.
Yep.
We're always here with you. And you will get a glimpse of us. Ryan is getting me more and more on TikTok so we can do some other live things. Realistically, we're going to be coming at you guys from different angles. And we're
going to be coming at you from all sides.
All sides. So it is it. But we love it. We'd love to have this space with you guys, and we love to do this every Friday. That's the reality.
No, for sure. And, again, just everybody that was out there supporting us today, and my family, with the stupid doxing stuff. We're kind of getting used to it over here. But it still is nice to have your support and everybody reporting it to try to get it taken down. So as always, thank you so much for your love and support for us. I definitely don't take it for granted. Like Ian said, a quick update. Our next 2 shows it's 2 shows, right?
2 shows.
Yeah. So our next 2 shows are going to be pre-recorded. Because we both have trips that we're going to take, and we're getting close to a year of doing this. Yeah. So we need a vacation. We need a vacation.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, we're going to take a little vacation, but we're not going to leave you all hanging on Fridays. We will still have a show for you. So look forward to that. Look forward to the new graphics and the new intro that we'll have to the show.
Some new music. Yeah, it's all come together.
New music. Yep. And if you didn't already know, in the description is a link to Ian's Spotify where you can go check out all his music. So make sure you go check out the links in the bio. Yeah, man. And I think that's about it. So I'll just reiterate, let's stop playing stupid games. Okay. I know that a lot of influential people are coming out here and using their platforms. I think it's in irresponsible ways right now, but I'm going to use our platform right now to say, look, it's Joe Biden or bust. That's just the way it is. I know everybody wants to debate and we can talk about this, that, and the other, but statistically speaking, removing Joe Biden at this point in the game, it would ensure us a loss. And to drive home the point again that we are not just voting for Joe Biden, we are also voting for Kamala Harris, and we are voting for every single person in his administration that, oh, by the way, haven't fled the White House like the previous administration and presidents did. Most of the people that started working with Joe Biden want to continue working with him for another 4 years. So I think that's also important to note. And with that said, make sure you like, subscribe, and I'll leave you as I always do with much love. Keep fighting, and we'll see y'all.